Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Shot Talk. It is day 4 here at Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Alicia Solomon, and I have my SBC classmates here with me, Marlena Rodriguez, Adam Kirchoff, and Miguel Hidalgo. We're just going to go in straight to what happened in the previous game. We have Lakers and Knicks coming up, and we're going to just talk about the Lakers and what they did. In the previous game, they mildly got away with the defeat against the Suns. And guys, what did you see from the Lakers in that scrappy win?
So obviously the Lakers are looking to come up blazing after that tight victory on Monday against the Suns. It was a close one, even though they didn't really shoot the ball well. It was something that definitely rejuvenated the crowd here at Thomas and Mack that night because of starting with Reeves' game winner down there at the stretch.
No, definitely. They didn't shoot the ball well. They only shot 38% from 2, 21% from 3. They did shoot well from the line, 93%. They only went 14 times to the line. Quite frankly, they put a lot of pressure on the defense, basically. They forced 16 turnovers just with 14 assists that had Phoenix. So quite frankly, the Lakers were not effective offensively, but they were very aggressive defensively. That allowed them to get the win.
Absolutely, and it really was like a well-rounded showing from all the Laker players. 4 players scored in double figures, 2 of those being the Lakers' recent signings, which are McClung, who's kind of become a fan favorite, as well as Chauncey Brown Jr., who's kind of become that 3-and-D specialist. So what are you guys' thoughts on either one of those guys?
I'll add on that. Speaking of how you said it rejuvenated the crowd.
Yeah.
Basically, Vegas here, these are like Laker home games, right?
Absolutely.
People come here for the Laker games, especially against prime time like the Knicks for tonight. But going back to you, what you said, Adam, Mac McClung and Chauncey Brown Jr., they just officially signed their contracts 20 hours ago. So I'm definitely excited for them. You know, Mac, they're both undrafted. You know, just to see their success stories and what their journeys look like, I'm very interested.
Absolutely. And Summer League is one of those places where guys show who they are. So this is a big moment for them. And having that Exhibit 10 contract being signed, guys, I mean, this is it. This is the big leagues.
Right, exactly. And obviously McClung first made a name for himself in high school. All those Ball is Life mixtapes, you know, those hops, you can't stop those hops on YouTube. And so he has an array of scoring records for his home state of Virginia as well. But, you know, he's been coming out here hustling, diving for loose balls. And that's, like Marlena said, that's what the Laker fans like to see. Back to your point, you know, those rebuilding years for the Lakers especially, they were stockpiling draft picks. So they had D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, all the way down to Mo Wagner that came in, Josh Hart winning Summer League MVP, and then Kyle Kuzma then capturing that 2018, I believe, was when they won that Summer League championship. So, like Marlena said, this is kind of Staples Center 2.0, and the Lakers are hot.
That's right. And one player that we haven't mentioned is Kirchoff. He had 13 points, led the team in scoring. He has a contract with the Lakers, so it's very important that he improve in this season. Obviously, we know that the Lakers were injury-riddled last season. That's why they got the 7th seed in the West. So Devontae's progress is something that they'll monitor during the entire Summer League experience.
Yeah.
I have to add, too, speaking of Mac McClung, how you said all those mixtapes he made, this guy has 805,000 Instagram followers.
Let him know.
Look at that.
Tell me that you don't belong in the Lakers uniform if you don't have that Hollywood type of signature. So, but that just shows you. That just shows you that, you know, just for kids out there, you don't need all the fame. You don't need, you know, I think Chauncey has like 20K followers. Like you just need to put in the hustle, the work, and like you said, Alicia, the Summer League is a perfect opportunity for people to showcase their skills, not just to NBA teams here, but scouts from different countries, overseas, G League. There's so many options.
And that's a Mars stat.
Absolutely.
Mars bomb.
Yes,
You heard it here first.
Yes, sir.
And I think someone who made such a good precedent with that is Alex Caruso, who just got paid
Let me
a
borrow
good
that
amount.
one.
A good amount in
He
Chicago.
got paid a
Yeah,
good
he
amount
got
in
paid.
Chicago, so much that the Lakers didn't even try to match that salary that he was offered. But, you know, I think that's a good example. The Lakers are a good example of a team who used Summer League prospects to find those gems for their regular season roster, like a Caruso, who was brought in on a 2-way deal initially, but he really showed out in Summer League during those rebuilding years, eventually found his way, won a championship ring in 2020.
Absolutely. We're going to take it on to the other side of the court with the Knicks. And, you know, a little biased here, but the Knicks did pull out the win. And, you know, they had their young guys in there at Toppin and quickly. So, guys, what did you see from the Knicks specifically in that last game against the Pacers?
So their matchup against the Pacers, they bounced back, actually. They shot exceptionally well from three. They shot at 44%, especially in comparison to the last game versus Toronto, where they shot 18% from three. They went 7 for 40. So, bouncing back with those shooting numbers is something that they can definitely try to go with going forward tonight.
And Summer League is very important for the Knicks. Quite frankly, Emmanuel Quigley and Opie Toppin, we know that they're going to be part of the rotation there in New York. They made the playoffs this year. They're very excited. They're in the mecca of the world. So quite frankly, Opie Toppin, Emmanuel Quigley, Miles McBride also showed out 14 points, 3 rebounds. So they looked exceptionally well on offense, like my partner says. In the first game, very ineffective. They had trouble moving the ball, scoring the ball. Here, 17 assists against 11 turnovers, so a good assist-to-turnover ratio. So quite frankly, the Knicks are going to look good, but they're monitoring the progress of their players in the Summer League. It's very important that they develop.
And I want to say, too, speaking of Emmanuel quickly, and there's Opie Toppin, and I know you said that they've had some doubts here in Summer League, but I feel like when you're part of the Knicks organization, I feel like you can't do wrong. Sometimes, maybe not to the fans sometimes, because they let you know when you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
But here at Summer League, they want to see a show, and I've seen some games. Opie Toppin, he's got hops.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to use them, right?
No.
Especially being from New York and having that lifestyle. So they're averaging about 23 points right now. So Emmanuel quickly seeing his game too of how he's not afraid just to be the aggressor, and I know that the coaching staff spoke to him, don't be afraid to get your shot.
Right.
I know you want to be facilitate and get everyone involved, but the more you're aggressive, the more that opens up for everybody, right?
And he scored 32 points in this last game, and within the regular season, we saw highlights that he can be that game changer. He can change the pace for these Knicks that actually need a lot of offense, and they need defense as well. But he can provide offense. He comes from Kentucky, so we know he can ball.
Yes.
Now it's a matter of if he can be consistent enough for him to be part of the rotation and actually be effective.
Now, Quigley was second-team All-Rookie, and there was some question marks surrounding whether he could have those traditional point guard duties, whether he was going to share those with Derrick Rose coming off the bench. But he is a stop-and-go player. He changes direction so well, so quickly. No pun intended. Can't believe I did
Right.
that. Pun full intended. I'll change that. But he's got a deadly floater. There was this one play that I know where he faked this drive. He had this dribble hesitation. He caught Chris Doherty of the Pacers. He caught him in this kind of Harden-esque step-back three.
Right.
It's kind of disgusting. But he used his dribble entirely.
And I don't want to forget, let's not forget about, New York's pick, 25, Quentin Grimes, okay, shooting guard. I've seen him play. He's finding his own. Again, he barely came. This is a new team for him and everything, so it makes sense. But his defense, I'm excited to see what he brings to the table, because New York, the fans want to see you grind. They want to see you build yourself and just showcase yourself, and not afraid that you're gonna, take charge.
Absolutely. And on that note, someone who's kind of similar, Miles McBride, also a rookie
Yes.
coming in, nicknamed Deuce. He's the other Nick at the end of the game in double figures. He had 14 points. And he's only 6'2", but he plays much bigger than that because of his athleticism. And like Marlena said, he has that grind. He has that hustle, especially on defense. He's really gritty. He kind of reminds me of the way Drew Holiday plays defense, the way he attacks.
That's a good example.
Yeah, the way he attacks the ball handler, he commits to that on-ball pressure, sometimes going full court pressure. And I think that's something that the Lakers might have to deal with tonight.
I'm looking forward to 2 players. I'm looking forward to Jericho Sims. He was drafted in the second round this year. And I have Luca Vildosa. He's been a ACB champion, ACB Finals MVP. If those of you who don't know what the ACB is, it's the Spanish league. Quite frankly, an Argentinian player with a lot of potential. 26 years old. He knows how to play basketball, has played with their national team. So Luca Vildosa is a player that we have to keep our eye on, because they expect him to produce minutes and produce results as far as the Knicks organization is concerned.
And Miguel, with those international players, how much of a difference do you see them coming in, especially someone that just came back from the Olympics, for instance? Well,
for Luca, it's going to be a different adjustment that he's going to have to face, because quite frankly, he's accustomed to more physicality.
Right.
But he's a 2 guard, basically 6'4" shooting guard, not a great shooter, very smart. He can handle the ball, so he's going to have to make adjustments. I don't know if he can handle the physicality and the speed of the game. The pace changes a lot when you reach the NBA. So as far as Luca's ceiling, I see him as a rotation player. I don't see him as an impact-changing player, but I think he'll have a good career with the Knicks if they give him a chance.
Absolutely. And guys, back to Jericho Sims real quick. Over these past 2 games, he still has not missed a shot. He's 10 for 10.
The big man.
He's a big
that's
man.
A nice
The big
stat.
man coming back.
That's a nice stat.
He is getting good looks around the rim, obviously. He's a rim runner. He rolls hard to the rim. He catches lobs. He flushes them. But he kind of has a soft touch. There were a few moments where he was going down in the post. He was faking guys with some little sweet hook fakes, hook shots down low. So I don't know. So he can continue that streak, that
The big
perfect
man's
field
coming
goal
back.
streak.
Absolutely.
Should be exciting.
The Knicks have a good, big, dominating front court here at Summer League that they can kind of parlay into the season. Let's go over to the Lakers side, though. But they have LeBron. They have AD.
Oh my
they
gosh, I
signed
am
Russ.
so excited.
Okay, let's start with you because you're a Russ fan.
That's my
You're,
guy.
Oh my
you're from
God.
LA.
Anyone who is Russ haters, DM me, okay? Get my Twitter handle.
here.
I'll
I'm here.
Roast
roast
his Twitter
you.
handle so they can DM you.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
they can,
you.
But I'm here.
No, he's literally right
I don't
there.
have to DM you. I'm
drop
here.
it.
He will do it.
Listen, Russ on the court, off the court, okay? If you haven't met my man, if you don't know what he's about, if you don't know what he's done for his community, okay? Let me just tell you, you're not looking, you're not opening your eyes, okay, Miguel? So
But that doesn't
That-
translate to wins.
that, and don't even mess with the GOAT, okay? Kobe Bryant, let me quote him, okay? He said he's the most athletic guard or basketball player that he's ever come across.
That's true.
Okay, and there's another one that I may butcher, but he said that he has never met someone like Russ that on his level. So it's coming that from the GOAT, from R.I.P. Kobe, but
No, whenever they had Kobe, whenever they asked Kobe to
Yes.
possibly say
it was
who's,
high ceiling always.
Who are you going to pass that torch to, or who do you see yourself in
Yes.
all these new
Yeah.
up-and-coming players? He didn't pick Steph. He didn't pick
Nope.
LeBron. He didn't pick Harden. He
Nope.
always said Russell Westbrook is that guy. He has that fire.
Yeah.
So I think him in a Laker jersey, he's from.
It just makes sense.
He's from.
Los
Where is he
Angeles.
from? He's from close to LA. He's from.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, he is from LA.
yeah,
yeah.
he's in the
Garden
city
Grove,
area.
kinda Garden Grove.
Yeah, yeah.
I know he
But
owns a
he
couple,
reps the whole LA. He doesn't,
Absolutely.
he doesn't just a single city, and it just makes it so great. He just had his conference of them officially doing it, and Rob Pelinka and Coach Frank Vogel welcoming him. And I know a reporter said, like, do you feel like you need to prove yourself? And you know what his answer was? No. I don't feel like I need to prove myself.
He doesn't need to prove
I
himself,
don't-
but he needs to win.
Yeah, just like I'm pretty sure every basketball player wants to win, okay?
But he's never won,
But-
though. That's my question.
true.
What's the Lakers' ceiling though this season? They have 3 Hall of Famers on the front squad. We've seen it before with them coming together with bringing just random names and just throwing it all together.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to translate onto the court, and what is the ceiling for this team? It's championship or bust, but will they get there?
So this team has been revamped. Basically, they went from a young core, so now they're old. Now this is an old team. They had a staple of defense that's no longer there. We're expecting them to be very offensive. We're hoping that they can still be very offensive. The jump shooting, very questionable. I mean, they got Wayne Ellington, they got Malik Monk, but you still got LeBron. You still got Westbrook. So I'm concerned. If I'm a Lakers fan, I'm concerned. I'm excited about maybe having Westbrook, LeBron, Anthony Davis. We know what they're going to do. Can the rest support them? Can the rest play to their strengths? Because LeBron can't shoot, Westbrook can't shoot. Is AD going to get outside the paint? I have a lot of questions with this team, especially if they can guard. They don't have an elite defender anymore. So and this is an injury-riddled team. Russell Westbrook has torn his ACL. Anthony Davis has torn his ACL. LeBron's going to turn 38 soon. So Father Time is unbeaten, even though he and Tom Brady are very.
Let's give LeBron a little leeway here.
Yeah,
he
but
has shown that he can defeat Father Time at
Absolutely.
times.
Yeah, he and Tom
Yes.
Brady are
He's
like
a
battling 12
19-year-old
rounds with him.
19-year-old body.
But-
when they acquired Russ, obviously, like you said, the key question mark here was the spacing, because LeBron traditionally plays well. You saw that with those Cleveland teams. Unfortunately, they matched up against Golden State powerhouse, but you saw that LeBron's teams historically are most successful when he's got shooters around the perimeter, when he has room to operate, whether it's driving to the basket. And Russell Westbrook he's not quite that shooter. And I think, like Alicia, like we've talked, I think, and like Miguel mentioned, I think this year is really contingent on health, because you bring in those older pieces. You bring in the Carmelo Anthony, you bring in a Trevor Ariza,
A Dwight
a lot of
Howard.
former Lakers that they brought in free agency. Kent
Right.
Bazemore as well, Dwight Howard coming back. But you see, like Alicia, like we talked with those 2012, 2013 Lakers, when they brought back a prime Dwight, they brought back an aging Steve Nash and still a Kobe on his way out, but he was still before the Achilles. But it was really the health that caused them for their chemistry to really weaken because they didn't really have a chance to play together. So we'll see what that happens for this year.
And this brings a challenge for Frank Vogel. I mean, you're changing the staple of your team. You're revamping a team. You have like 8 new players. You extended Taylor Horton-Tucker. That's a good signing. They got Kendrick Nunn, good signing.
Quick question. Why isn't he playing in Summer League?
Who?
THC?
Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
He got paid. He don't got to come here.
He's too big time.
All right.
He's too big time.
Okay.
But going back from
He's a clutch sports.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Pardon me. I just saw Rich Paul
Rich-
too. Pardon me.
Rich Paul's protecting his players, yeah.
If Rich Paul out here.
But going back to, I know you said like LeBron, it's a lot of older players, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that means like just how, people say when LeBron's on your team, you want to win now.
Right.
Right? So it makes sense that, you have players that have been in the playoffs, that want to win. Trevor Ariza, you hope that he brings something to the defensive end, whether it's teaching someone or even, buckling down and getting to work.
Right.
So seeing Carmelo Anthony too, his banana boat buddy.
Exactly.
I was,
Hey,
I'm like,
bring back Dwayne Wade.
I know, Dwayne Wade come out of retirement. We want to
can do
see
it.
you.
We
Chris
don't
Paul-
want to see it.
He's got legs, though.
Yeah, he got legs.
Am I the minority? Dude, I don't want to see it.
Dwayne has his fashion sense.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, Dwayne, come on.
That's another
Let's
thing.
not.
You know
You
you like
bring
how
in-
Dwayne.
I'm wearing high waters right now, and I don't want to see that on him.
Okay.
How do
Okay.
we feel off the court? We bringing in one fashionista in Westbrook, but we're getting rid of Kuz.
Listen,
No, that's
it
a
was
good point.
time. It was time for
We
Kuz,
need some.
okay?
We need some swagger off the bench.
There was
though.
too many rumors. I was like, when is it gonna happen? And then finally, done deal.
Really?
So how fast do you think
I
LeBron
love Teddy
packed
Kuz.
Kuzma's bags?
Oh, I think it was already at his doorstep. I'm like, here you go,
Yeah.
Kuz. There you go.
Really?
Here's a plane ticket to Washington.
Kuz
Have
was
fun.
Kuz was the last piece though. Kuz was the last piece of that young core, and I don't know about. I'm a Laker fan, so seeing those guys go one by one was like kind of hurt a little bit.
No, yeah,
Because I
definitely.
was like,
I
don't know.
definitely think his fan base, hopefully it travels with him in Washington, but that's the NBA, that's the business. People get cut left and right, and you just have to, pray that you want to go to a good team that's gonna be beneficial to you, and hopefully Kuz, he gets the minutes and the numbers that he needs, to progress his career. So, but going back to the Lakers, I was just telling my fellow colleagues that this looks like an NBA 2K team now.
Absolutely.
Like, you think
Throw it
people
together.
add these to like a video game, like, oh, I'm just gonna add, LeBron, Russ,
this
AD,
is how it was.
Carmelo, like
2K13,
no biggie.
2K14,
Yeah, 2K12,
come on.
all those. So
They got 5 Hall of Famers here.
Yeah.
You got LeBron, you got Russell, you got Carmelo, you got
Dwight?
Anthony Davis, you got Dwight, you got 5 Hall of Famers. In 2012, this team would have been unstoppable. Right now, I
Yeah.
have my doubts.
should be interesting.
We can kind of go over to the other side with the Knicks because, they have a team that's across the way that may have something to say about that Lakers championship run. But the Knicks, they re-signed Kemba. They got Derrick Rose. They are having Opie Toppin out here, Emmanuel. They have some good pieces that they can build off of. What is the limit? What's the projection for the Knicks this season?
Well, they got a good mix of young pieces and veterans, but this is a team that hasn't made the playoffs for the first time since 2013. So they're really looking to get that culture back, I think, because they had those years since 2013 where it was just they were just bottoming out, even with Carmelo, and then they moved on to try to rebuild, trying to get all these splashes in free agency that didn't really work out. So they finally got a piece in Julius Randle who can kind of be that playmaking, go-to scoring at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Julius Randle too. He's getting paid the 4-year, 117 mil. So seeing him put into work of him being a Laker, the New Orleans, it's just great to see that,
Most improved player.
Yeah, most improved. There you go. So it should be exciting.
Absolutely.
So let's see what's coming up here. We have Lakers, Knicks coming on the court, and we just wrapped up Toronto Warriors, and we have the Warriors coming out edge by 6. Let's see what's going on with the Lakers and Knicks coming up here. And this was Shot Talk, guys. We'll be back here tomorrow to talk again about basketball. We see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Have a good one.